Before the Burning Legion and the Great Sundering, the Barrens was a prosperous forest inhabited and protected by the Night Elves and their kind. There were Night Elf cities and villages throughout the area. But after the Burning Legion and the Great Sundering, this wonderful forest turned into the dry savannah we've come to know today, with the warm sunrays beating on its plains every day. The Barrens are surrounded by a couple of zones: Ashenvale to the north, Durotar to the east, Dustwallow Marsh to the southeast, the Thousand Needles to the south, and Mulgore and Stonetalon Mountains to the west. Besides its grand plains, there are also a lot of mountains to the west which hold the heated air that then rages over the plains of the Barrens. This warm wind contributes to the dry state of the lands, further halting the growth of any meaningful flora. There isn't a lot of water around, apart from a few small oases that can be found. This makes water the most precious resource in the area, perhaps even more valuable than gold. There are dry riverbeds to be found around the plains, from the times when impressive rivers made their way through the area. Although the Barrens seems like a simple land, both Horde and Alliance favor this place for its location. It has trade routes going to and from other zones and has the infamous Gold Road that runs all the way through the Barrens from north to south and beyond. The Barrens is an incredibly large zone in central Kalimdor and is one of the largest zones on the continent, if not the largest. But nowadays, Centaur and Quilboar clans disturb the Horde inhabitants who try to live an honest life here. It is also worth noting that its rocky mountains and hills offer precious minerals if an adventurer is brave enough to go out and look for them. The raiding Centaur packs can be mainly found roaming around the canyons in the Barrens. Though they are present throughout the entire zone, they are known to be a very aggressive race who do not take kindly to others that are not of the Centaur kind. They even have an increased hatred and aggressiveness towards Tauren and Night Elves. They are also known to attack trade caravans that cross the area using the Gold Road. They do it to claim the loot and riches for their own tribes, or just for the sake of violence. After an assault, when there are any survivors, they enslave them to work in the mines that the Centaur have delved. Another prevalent threat are the Quilboar. They are mainly situated along the river between Durotar and the Barrens. There they have erected small villages and huts from where they can operate as small tribes. They raid small settlements across the river in the Barrens. They might try their luck in Razorhill and Durotar, but with the Horde main city Orgrimmar being so close, they will rather try to raid smaller settlements in the Barrens. They, just like the Centaur, are also known to raid trade caravans along the trade routes. Because the Centaur raids on the trade caravans hurt the profit of the Goblin trade princes, they often enlist Quilboar to protect the trade caravans from the Centaur raids, for a pretty penny. The main Quilboar village can be found in the south of the Barrens. It goes by the name of Razorfen Downs and Razorfen Kraul. Although the inside of Razorfen Downs is infested with scourge and dangerous foes, the rest of the Razorfen area is claimed by the Quilboar and infested with wild growth of massive thorns. There they have set up their main camp. Plenty of mud huts and small houses can be found there in close proximity of each other within the nest of thorns. Other threats and dangerous animals that roam the Barrens are the vicious harpies to the north, thunder lizards and lions who roam all around the Barrens, but tend to avoid the Gold Road. All these threats have never stopped the dwarves, who have set up a base in the south around the Titan excavation site of Baal Medan. The Centaur have tried many a time to overthrow the base, but to no avail. The dwarves seem to confidently repel every attack that the Centaur throw at them. Rumor has it that multiple Centaur tribes plan to launch a grand-scale attack on the base, but the dwarves seem unconcerned, as they build up the defense every day. When the orcs first arrived on Kalimdor, under the guidance of their war chief Thrall, the Barrens saw a new flourish of civilization. The Horde, claiming the Barrens as a central trading point, started to build outposts, watchtowers and settlements on its grounds, with the biggest one being the crossroads. Farmers and families built houses, making farming patches to become self-sustaining, and so, the Barrens became vibrant again. Alongside the scourge-infested Razorfen Downs and the Quilboar-inhabited Razorfen Kraul, there are also the Wailing Caverns, situated southwest of the crossroads. All three of these places are infamous for the enemies, secrets and spoils they contain, and one should never venture inside alone. The Barrens also contain the entrance to the Warstone Gulch, where members of the Horde and the Alliance may challenge one another. This originates back to when Grom Hellscream and his orcs, called the Warsong Outriders, chopped away massive amounts of forest in South Ashenvale to fuel the Horde's expansion, to which the Night Elven Silverwing Sentinels were founded to push back these orcs and reclaim their forest. A few notable and memorable characters that are home to the Barrens are Surgard Darkthorn, who set young adventurers on their way to prove and claim their place in the Horde by letting them hunt Barrens wildlife, and Jorn Skyseer and Kemp Tarajo, who also sends them on their way to Thunderbluff. At his camp, Rektar Deathgate fights tirelessly against the Centaur to keep them from breaking through the Horde defenses. And finally, there is Mankrik, who is still looking for his wife. With the Barrens being such a large zone, it can be daunting to run from north to south, even when having a mount to ride upon. Luckily, there is a flight master in the crossroads in Camp Taracho, which offers a wyvern to use for faster and easier travel. After the Cataclysm, the Barrens became split into two zones, a northern Barrens and a southern Barrens, split by a river of lava. The Tauren now have built a wall between the border of Mulgore and the southern Barrens. Camp Taracho was burnt to the ground by the Alliance, an assault made from either Northwatch or Baal Modan, and they also erected multiple guard towers throughout the area. Parts of the southern Barrens now have some flourishing flora, thanks to the efforts of the druid Naralex. But the Emerald Nightmare is pouring out in the zone, which causes trouble. The pirates who set up camp near Ratchet are forced to leave, and Mankrik will finally find his wife's body. And so the Barrens remains unchanged to this day, where its inhabitants fight to live another day in the now even less forgiving landscape. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for sticking around until the end, and I will see you next time.